Hello everyone and welcome, it's Alexandra. Here goes part 4 in our tutorial series for creating the Mushroom Collector mini book. You can find the flip through of the book in the video which will be linked below. Today we are working on page 4 and here it is. It has a few pockets on the front side of the page, 2 double-sided slides that go into this pocket. Then we have a double-sided card that goes into a larger pocket. Then we have a card inside the pocket page itself. And on the reverse, we have some turning cards. We have another double-sided card in the top pocket of the page, and we have another one in the larger page pocket. There are also images that peek through the window openings in each one of the pockets. And this is what we're going to work on today. Let's look at the pages that we're going to work with. This is our base page. Then we have a page that looks like this. And a large card that will go into the pocket. There is a larger pocket that will be on the reverse side of our page number 4. And there are the slides with the inside pieces for the slides. Then we have another card right here. Some more elements that I recommend to fussy cut and store aside for now. Then there is this page and the leftover piece with the small card that will go into one of our today's pockets. I'm going to cut out everything now and speed up the whole process. If there are any things that deserve your special attention, I will stop and explain them in details. From the page that looked like this, I cut out one of the pockets and used a 1 1/4 inch circle punch to punch out the opening. Let's first cut around the outer edge of the 2 slides without separating them. Like so. Now let's cut the openings out. When I have both of the slides cut out, as well as both of the openings, I will score a line. And here I can see pretty good where the score line needs to go. Now let's try and fold them together. Now let's just mark a little area right here where our images will have to go. And here the images themselves are. I will cut them out. When you're going to add your images to the slides, pay attention at the direction of the text. So now I'm going to take one of the images and kind of put it on top of that area that I marked. I didn't apply any glue to the back of the image yet. I'm just going to put it there and make sure that I keep my outer edges as straight as possible. I will cover the image with the second half of the slide and just make sure that the image fits the opening nicely. And then I will keep my image still in the same place, and I will add the glue underneath, and then add the glue where it needs to be added so that the image sticks nicely to the ivory cardstock. Let's make sure again that it looks fine. Next, I'm going to take a piece of wide tape, and I'm keeping it with the sticky side up. I will put it on top of the opening and just try to make sure that I cover the edges of the opening with the tape. Now I can cut the tape to the size that I need, and I will then just cover my image with that piece of tape. Then I can actually do the same for the second image. Ink the edges of the openings and then add your glue to the back of this paper piece and glue the slides together. Make sure that you glue good on the sides. Now we can cut between two of the slides. We can use our corner chomper and around the corners. And then I just use my scissors for cutting out these notches. Let's ink the edges. I will get back to cutting the rest of the pieces. Everything has been cut out. Let's have a look at what we can already glue down together. So we have this little card that can be glued down closed. This card, the same thing. Then this one, and also this one. Use your card from the page number 1 as a template and add a page tab to your card. I have added a tab to my card. Next, I want to round the corners of 3 of these cards. It's time now to ink the edges of all of the elements. Don't forget to add ink to the edges of all of the openings on the pockets that you have. I have inked everything, punched everything out, rounded the corners, and now I think I'm ready to first of all assemble my base page. Here it is. This will be the front side of the 4th page, and this will be the reverse. Before we start to adhere the acetate pieces to the windows on the pockets, I want us to glue down only this pocket that looks like this to the front side of our page, and I will do that by adding the glue first to the long flap, which will be at the bottom of the pocket. I want to add a piece of tape, and as you can see, I have glued the tape closer to the left-hand side of the pocket itself. And then I glued another piece of tape under the side flap of the pocket. The sticky side of the tape is facing up, and I'm going to add the glue now to the flap itself, and holding the tape with my fingers, I will glue the flap to the base page. Our card can go inside. I will set the card that will go inside the pocket aside for now and get to the pockets with the windows. For each one of those openings, we need a piece of acetate. And here I wrote the measurements for the pieces of acetate that I'm going to use. I'm going to apply the glue around the opening itself, then around the perimeter of the acetate piece, and glue the acetate piece down closer to the side flap of the pocket. Make sure that you center the piece between the top and the bottom flaps as well. I will take another piece of tape and glue it along the outer edge of the acetate. Our card is going to slide inside the pocket like so, and when it slides in, it will go smooth on top of that edge of the acetate till the very bottom flap of the pocket. After gluing down the acetate, I will get back to my base page, flip it to the side that I'm working on right now. I will first apply the glue to the flap and then glue this pocket to the base page only by the flap with the glue. Now, you remember that this layer of paper should be just a little bit smaller than our base page. And that's what you will look at when gluing the flap of the pocket down. You will see that you have tiny borders around the edges of the pocket itself. Also on this side. We will flip the pocket open now and glue another piece of tape right along the bottom flap, close to the score line of the flap itself. And usually the standard width of the clear tapes will be exactly what we need to make sure that the tape is not peeking through the opening in the pocket. Now I'm going to add the same way as before, 2 pieces of tape along the edges of the flaps at the top and at the bottom for our card to slide in easier into the pocket itself. I can apply the glue to the long flaps on both sides and holding both of the flaps down with my fingers even closer to the bottom like so. I will close the flaps with my base page, and this is how it's going to look like. We can check if the large journaling card goes inside as it should, and mine fits pretty nicely. Next, I will take the pocket that looks like this, and when you fold the side flap on the right, you can see that part of the flap is showing through the opening. To fix that, I will just take my ruler and my craft knife, and I will cut the excess. If you need to, you can add some ink on the inside of the flap, like so. Once we added the ink, we can take a piece of acetate and cover this area of our pocket with the acetate. My piece measures 4 1/8 by 1 3/8, and this time I will center it between the left and right flaps, but I will glue it down quite close to the flap and the score line of that bottom edge of the pocket. This is how it looks. Here I also want to add little pieces of tape on the sides of the acetate here and here, because these are the only two areas that have enough of cardstock and can hold those pieces of tape there. I will also take little pieces of tape. If you want to know what's the length of my pieces, it's about 1 inch. And I'm going to glue them down there, right in the corners. You will see that they do not reach all the way to the opening itself. When you glue this piece on top of your existing pocket, you don't have chance for mistakes, so to say. So you will first, try it out where exactly it needs to be glued down. And maybe you can even take a pencil before gluing it down and, just make the marks for yourself with a pencil that will let you know from where you need to glue the pocket on top. I'm going to add the glue. Take the page. Now I think I should start right there. Let's center it. Let's make sure that it's going straight all the way at the top and at the bottom. Now our image also looks fine through the opening. Now I can use my bone folder and burnish. We have the card for this spot. I'm going to use my 1/4 inch circle punch. Punch the hole in there and also in the card right here. We will flip the page to this side and add the acetate to this pocket. The piece of acetate that you are going to need will measure 4 3/4 by 1 7/8, and this piece will cover almost the whole area of the pocket. We are going to have the 2 slides inside this pocket, and I think that this time I'm not going to use any pieces of clear tape on any of the flaps in the corners of this pocket, because sliding in the separate slides is way easier than sliding a card, and that's why this time I will simply glue the pocket down to the page, lining it along the bottom edge of the previous pocket. This is our page in the front. The slides will go in just like so. On the previous slides, I used the white gel pen and just wrote the numbers of the slides, whichever numbers that I wanted. Let's do 9 and 11. This is the age of my daughters. 9 years old and 11 years old. You can add any numbers that might have a meaning for you. This card can go into the pocket, and our page is almost ready. What's left is only to take care of 3 of these little cards. I think I want this image to be at the top. I will stack them down together, and I will just poke a hole in the corner through all 3 of them at once, and then I will use just a tiny brad, put it through the hole, make sure that I rotate it so that the prongs do not show from the edges of the paper, just like so. Okay, and then if you want to, You can use a punched out circle and glue it down in the back. It still allows you to rotate the cards and look at all of them. You can add this element to the page however you like. I also forgot to show you in the video, but I took one of the labels with the word filed and glued it down on the reverse side of this journaling card. Page number 4 is ready to join now the previous 3 pages that we have completed, and we are getting closer and closer to the end of our tutorial series. I hope you enjoy the process of working on this little book. If you have any questions, you know where to ask them. Thanks for joining me, and talk to you soon. Bye!